Hello everyone. Today we are going to talk about the main activity, and we have already covered the Smart WebView configuration files, file system, and other dependencies and libraries. For live sessions, I'm thinking about rebuilding the application, and we'll go line by line and we'll cover user issues with the programs, and we'll explore GitHub issues also. Now let's go through mainActivity.java file. This is the main file. So these are the dependencies required. We start with main activity. It extends app activity. App activity already has libraries that we need throughout any typical application. It's not required, but we are using some functions and methods. Here's activity result launcher. Uh, all the intents that we are launching throughout this application, it goes through this activity launcher. It sets what application or what action to be further launched. It holds the intent here, and whatever the preferable app or method that's going to handle that particular request is going to take care of that through this intent data. In this line, we are making functions object FNS from the functions class that we have already discussed in the last video. Let me show you once again. It is a cluster of all the methods that we use throughout the application, and it has all the random generation functions and the cookie session functions and everything that we need on regular basis. We have on activity result. What it does, it reads the request codes and what intent to launch further. It also sets the intent in a super class on activity result. Now we have some basic lineup that we require for the Smart WebView to work. Here we have suppressed some syntax information and overridden some method warnings. Once the program goes through on create, from here on, app loads and unfolds line by line, and we can either go line by line or we can, in live, we'll go in depth. Now we are looking at activity result launcher and checking whether it's carrying any information. The information it's carrying can be the file selected by user or any camera clip, video or image. Once we are assured that it's not null, we can actually go ahead and process it. Like here, if multiple files are selected here, we can see we're going to put into an array, a different array of results. But if there is a single file, we're just going to simply process it with a bitmap. This is just for the camera photo because we're not processing any videos on our end. Videos we are just forwarding as it is, and for images we are actually processing. We are compressing the images because I remember there was an issue on GitHub raised for the compression. You can just lower the quality of it, and image will become uh, of the similar quality and a little less in storage. Best quality setting would be 70 to 95, 90. Even not 100 is required for a JPEG. We have cookie orientation. What cookie orientation is, suppose you have a game that you have implemented in the web view. Now it changes according to gyro or any other sensors, or not even with the sensors, on user selection or manually or dynamically throughout the game. You want to keep changing the orientation, you can do it with cookies only. You can just set the device orientation whenever the page reloads. it will just set with the new orientation. We're not doing anything with service workers at the moment, but we'll use it for background music playing and videos and live sessions. We can also make that. Now, is task root is just to check whether the app is in the background and has come forward now. So not to reset the settings or reload the page. Just keep the app state where it is. This is the final frontier of the app. Just keep it there. Yeah, I got a haircut in the middle of this video. Now one more permission loop. Here we are checking what layout is selected. So accordingly we can adjust the activity, and we are dynamically selecting the view. Once the view is selected, we are establishing the main web view here. We also have a second web view for print screen, but we are going to remove it or add permission to it. Like I've added this comment right before pre-recording this video. We're going to add a permission to add this line because we are just loading the web view once again whenever the print request is made. So better not to do that and do it only when user has anything to do with the print. We just get rid of it if it's not required. Now there's function FCM token. We're calling FCM token refresh from the functions and checking whether the cookies are updated or not. It's going to update cookies also. Now we're establishing notification manager here, and now with this we're going to establish how it looks, how it appears in particular version. If it's more than 26 API, we have some new features or some permissions more than the previous ones that we can add. Once established, we can actually go ahead and add what features we want to show, because there are some specific features that 26 API plus devices have. We can go ahead with that. Now swipe refresh. We've already discussed this. We called it pull refresh also. There is a progress bar permission. We're changing how the progress bar is visible now or how much the progress bar is loaded. Handler for the rating request. It launches the rating activity. Then functions get info does a really important task of setting cookies with device information, Android software information, user client information, browser information, all those certain small details or any custom information that you or any custom information that you have requested to be added into that. It's really important for any kind of application that's other than website, at a normal website. If you want to do anything, you need that. It will set a cookie that you can pull from your server end. Then we have a GPS location. It checks for permission. If the permission is right, it will pull the location and set it in the cookies as latitudes and longitudes. Then we are going to set WebView settings. Once it's established, we're going to set user agent. If there is any custom user agent, we're going to put it here and add our own set of information that we have already established earlier, what we want to send with the rest of the string that we have already created. Then comes ASWP offline permission. It's important to actually ask for offline permission whether user has enabled it or not, user is intentionally giving it or not. Not that device has gone into some error or warning mode, and internet is disconnected or something like that. This is basically the permission where the developer has established already that their app is going to be offline or online. They can simply do that because there are some limitations to the JavaScript. By default, it is disabled, and whether your application is offline, it's okay. There's a bunch of permission variables now we're going to go through. Save form data keeps your information safe, so you do not have to re-enter it every time you're filling a form like in your browser. But it does not give a very positive view to a native application, so better keep it false. There is a set support zoom and geolocation enabled. It helps, but it's just a basic browser location, not the GPS location. We have different thing for that. Allow file access, allow file access from file URLs, allow universal access from file URLs. The all of these three are just for the selection of files, file browsers, and we have use viewport, DOM storage enabled, basic browser stuff. There is a lambda for copy paste enabling in the web view. There are ways to send haptic feedbacks via JavaScript to mobile devices via browser and simple basic websites, but we have disabled it by default. There's download listener that checks all the permission for the downloads that's going to be happening in the web view. There are different flags, and all of these are for the designing. These two are for design. Set mixed content mode is to whether enable or disable mixed content in the website, whether they are encrypted or non-encrypted, whether they are certified or SSL secured or not. You can set it from here. There is a layer type, whether to use hardware acceleration or not. There's a vertical scroll bar, better keep it disabled. We can make this also dynamic permission variable. Now we're reading incoming intent for images, and there is a slog share intent that's for sharing content via your app to your server, and from there you can either post it on user's profile or whatever you are going to do with that information with user's permission. There is an image share, whether the information shared is an image, a link, just text. It checks for all that. You just have to go through these codes to have some basic idea how this works. Then we are setting a Chrome client. This is for file permission only. We are not going to set it as a main web view. We're using Chrome client just to handle files because some limitations were there. So this is just the file permission and file selection, camera file selection, multiple file selection. It goes through all that and checks for the information. Actually, there are some errors that users have been reporting for quite some time now in GitHub issues. You can check also that we need to fix, and we might be fixing them throughout the live session. So I'm not going to go into depth here what each line is, because we're going to find some solution to fix or make it better for devices it's not working for. There's a on progress change. Whenever the website loads or the progress changes, we can track it from here, or progress change for even file downloads we can handle it from here. But this is just set for the web view to be loaded. in the progress bar we are setting. Yeah, see here, that's what we are doing right now, but you can make use of it in a lot better sense or a lot better way. There is also permission check for the location. There's one other intent, but we're not using it at the moment. There is on request result. It just checks for the packages. Suppose you're opening some application from your app, any external application from your app, so you need a package permission. There is on key down activity. On key down is actually when user presses back or swipes to go back within the app, but there is a limit to it. For several times they can go back, but in the end it will just ask for them whether they want to exit the app or not, because that can be the case at times. Here we are just starting the application, stopping the application method we're using here, and the configuration chain. All of these just default stuff. We do not have to do anything on that. There is a callback though. Set of program. Here we are setting activity layout visibility. When the page starts, what to do. When page is finished, what to do. On receiving any kind of error, we're going to load the error page from our offline file, whether the application is online or offline. We can just pull the offline error page, and we can show it anytime to the user, so it will keep the feeling of native application intact. There is override web view. What it does, it can just push a new URL at any moment during the application run. You can just change the URL, set a new URL dynamically within the application. And at last we have on received SSL error. What it does, it handles how when a browser, because we're basically using a browser that's WebView, and it throws errors like any typical browser, and it throws error on SSL and can break your application. So we handle how we're going to take it in this method. Yeah, we can also make it conditional, but why would you want to break your application by yourself? So it's just simply to be bypassed. So this was main activity. I believe this is all for now, and hope to see you guys in issue fixing session that we'll have live. Hopefully I'll see you guys again in next month, and we'll try to do those live sessions weekly, and work on PQL also. That's a news. That's a news. We're going to work on PQL now, and there are some other open sources that we can design together. We're going to work on it. One such is PHP Muscle. What it does, uh, it secures PHP based applications, web applications. It's kind of an antivirus for uh, for websites. That's an actually really interesting concept that we'll look into and work on it. Okay, guys, that's all for now, and I'll see you again. Bye.